Hello, it is so good to see you guys again. Today is Sunday, May the 3rd, and as you already probably know, the whole entire month of May is Mental Illness Awareness Month. And I would like to dedicate each and every one of these videos I shoot for the month of May on behalf of mental health awareness. I'm dedicating this video to my favorite actor of all time and my favorite musician of all time, both of which suffered from mental illnesses. Robin Williams is the best. There will never ever be anybody like him. He suffered from mental illness, undiagnosed mental illness. I want to go ahead and state that. He knew he had some issues with depression, and he knew he was struggling with it for a really long time. And sad to say, he never did get the help that he needed. And I do believe that is the reason why he ultimately ended his life, was because he just did not take care of himself. Bottom line, when everything else in life becomes more important than you taking care of yourself, than you being responsible for every single thing that concerns you. It's one thing to go out into the world and obtain fame and fortune and popularity, and then it's another thing to totally lose yourself, basically. And I believe along the way he just did not take out time for himself and do something about his depression, because he obviously struggled with depression for a number of years. But like most people who have any type of mental illness, most times they go ahead and self-medicate. What they do is they do drugs, illegal drugs, marijuana, cocaine, meth, crack, you name it, and some over-the-counter prescription drugs that they're getting or obtaining illegally. Alcohol is the #1 thing that most people who suffer from some kind of mental illness, alcohol usually is their drug of comfort. Let me say that. They usually self-medicate with alcohol. And it makes you think. It makes you rewind your life and kind of look back a little bit and think about a lot of your family members who suffered from alcoholism. Could it be that many of them were self-medicating and covering or masking a much more atrocious issue like mental illness? Fortunately for me, I never was into drinking, drugging. I mean, I tried it. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm human. And I did try alcohol for a while. I did try some type of illegal substance that I had no business touching. But none of those things did nothing for me. If anything, they made me feel more lethargic. My thing was, I didn't want to go to sleep. You know, I can do that with some PM tablets. And most times when people self-medicate, it is to suppress. It is to bring them down to a very, very numb state of existence. And honestly, I just did not want that for myself. So I didn't do much of anything. I just griped, moaned, and complained, and cried, and ooh, woe is me. I did a lot of that. And I'm grateful that I did, because if I had taken matters, unhealthy matters into my hands, I probably would have been an alcoholic, quite frankly. I probably would have been a drug addict. I probably would have been an over-the-counter illegal substance obtainer. That's a long one. That's a real long one. But I would have been doing things to my body that would have made my situation worse. And perhaps that's why I look so very well maintained. It's because I didn't do anything to myself. I basically dealt with my issue raw, uncut. If I was having a If I was having a bad day, if I was going through my moment of extreme lows with bipolar, you know, normally I would stay home. I rarely went anywhere. I rarely socialized whenever I was experiencing my bipolar lows. I didn't want to be around people, which was good for both me and them. That I just kind of like did my own antisocial thing. But for the most part, for Robin Givens, I'm dedicating this to him. He is my favorite actor of all time who suffered from mental illness. My guess, it was bipolar. Because if you look at his personality and how, you know, he did a great job of making us believe that he was happy most of the time. Most of the time. That is the delusion of this disease, is that some people really can mask it. They can put on a good face that they are okay when really they're not. And I also want to dedicate this to Donny Hathaway. He is amazing. His voice is absolutely awesome. There was some record that states that he had some mental issues. I don't have a lot of facts about his mental state and what led him to commit quote-unquote suicide. But I do know that he did suffer with some type of mental issue that ultimately led to his death as well. So back to the point. The point is, we're celebrating the entire month. We're educating and celebrating the entire month of May on behalf of mental health awareness. Now, it won't stop at May. For me, it has become my lifelong. I'm gonna commit myself to being an advocate for those who have issues of the mind, primarily people who have depression issues like bipolar disorder, manic bipolar, and any type of depressive mental illness. I'm all in. So I'm definitely going to be an advocate for people like myself who struggle with that condition and began the long and arduous journey of understanding myself with this condition, and also learning how to cope and learning how to thrive with this condition. It's not easy because you use your mind for every single thing you do. You use your mind is the central processing unit, the CPU. You know, on the hard drive of your computer, everything has to start at the CPU level, central processing unit. So, when your CPU is working, hey, you know, things happen. You're able to process. Your central processing unit is able to do word processing. For me, your mind is good, your mind is flowing, your mind is balanced, your mind is right. You're able to take better care of yourself, number one. Okay? Secondly, you're able to live a functional life where you're able to take on your daily task and be a healthy, solid human being, and also achieve whatever goal you have in your life to achieve, whatever it is. When you've taken care of yourself and you've taken care of your responsibility with your mind, then you're able to achieve these things.